Assalamu alaikum, Wolverhampton, and welcome to FYI. This is your ultimate source for community empowerment and information here on Ramadan Radio Wolves 87.fm. I'm your host, Alvina Ali, and today we have a special treat for you. So, joining us in the studio is Zahid Shah, sitting in for Kubra Shah, who is a superintendent pharmacist from ePharma. Now, with over 30 years of experience in the industry, Zahid is here to shed light on the services provided by ePharma, Wolverhampton's leading online pharmacy, from free prescription delivery to expert medical advice. Now, ePharma offers a range of convenient and essential services for our community. Now, before I continue with the interview, let me get my teeth back in. If you have any questions about a topic being discussed, all you got to do is dial our studio hotline on 01902 972 150, or you can send us a message at 07 440 420 432. So let's dive right in and learn more about ePharma and what they have to offer as well. So, Zahid, welcome to Ramadan Radio Wolves FYI.
Thank you very much, Alvina. Assalamu alaikum to everybody out there. And I hope everybody's just staying strong there, because it's only about just over an hour to go to the open class. But thanks for inviting me today, Alvina. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I just can't wait to discuss the valuable services that Pharma provide. So, Zahid, can you tell our listeners more about ePharma and what sets it apart from the traditional pharmacies that we have?
Okay, first of all, ePharma is an online pharmacy. Now, the thing is, when people think of an online pharmacy, they probably think, oh, what's going to happen? How are they going to get the medicines? How's this going to happen? Is it something in the sky, virtual? Well, ePharma is actually an online pharmacy which are based in a unit in Wolverhampton. Now, just to put things into perspective, we had to put an application in for a license to run an online pharmacy, which takes between 12 months to 2 years.
Wow.
Right. So it's the NHS here that we're dealing with. We're dealing with people's lives. So you're not going to get an application approved.
A quick fix.
A quick fix. Now, Kubra Gilani, my daughter, she's actually the superintendent pharmacist for ePharma. So she's like the main person. But she's been a pharmacist for 10 years. And within that 10 years, she's run a number of pharmacies in the community where she's headed the pharmacies, and she's actually turned around failing pharmacies. She's such a humble person, she wouldn't tell you that, but she's turned around pharmacies that were failing. And then on top of that, she's also a prescribing pharmacist.
Okay.
So she's actually worked in general practice where she's seen patients and prescribed medicines as well.
Wow. Now that sounds incredibly convenient. So, can you elaborate on some of the specific services that ePharma offers? Now, obviously, I've got a leaflet here, but obviously for people who don't know about ePharma, who haven't seen your leaflet, if you could just elaborate a bit more on the specifics of ePharma.
Yeah, first of all, what we do is we actually provide medicines to the community and to other areas of where medicine is required. But if you're looking at the community, so general everyday people like yourself and myself, we go to the doctors. The doctor prescribes a medicine if you need a medicine, and then that medicine is then emailed to a pharmacy, and that could be ePharma. The only difference with ePharma is that one of the specifics of an online pharmacy is we have to deliver to the house. So we get that and we deliver. So let's say, for example, you've got Alvina Ali, a very busy person running around like a headless chicken, all over the place,
As I
helping
always
everybody,
do.
as you do, helping everybody on the show and all this and that. And you want your medicine. The last thing you want to do now is you've just had a full-on day, and now you've got to go to the pharmacy and pick up your script.
Yeah.
Whereas with e-pharma, they'll come to your house.
Okay.
So you don't even have to worry about going to a pharmacy. They'll come straight to your house. So that cuts out all that headache as well.
Okay. Right. Okay. So not only do you focus on delivering a personalized care service, which is convenient to your customers, you also ensure that they have access to medication and support that they need, basically.
Yeah.
And you do that on behalf of them running around doing anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, it's clear that ePharma goes above and beyond to meet the needs of its customers. So, how does ePharma ensure the safety and confidentiality of its services, especially with sensitive information like prescriptions?
Oh, it's similar to any other pharmacy out there, right? There's confidentiality, there's SOPs, standard operating procedures that these pharmacies have to adhere to. So anybody whose prescription comes to ePharma, it's confidential. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Okay, so obviously you adhere to strict standards and regulations. Obviously, they must be set by some sort of regularity body, which you've mentioned, haven't you?
Yeah, the NHS.
NHS,
Yeah.
right.
So the National Health Service,
Yeah.
run that. And also, can I just say something, which you're probably not aware of? And again, this is about educating. Is every pharmacy will get an inspection. With the pharma, they will get inspected by an NHS inspector who comes in and makes sure that we're running everything above board. So more just recently, we opened up about 6-7 months ago, and 6-7 months later, we had the inspector coming around, making sure that we're doing everything by the book, which we are.
Right, excellent. Now, if people want to get in touch with ePharma, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, there's a number of routes, as you can see there. There's
Yeah, but for our listeners who don't know about this, I mean, I know how to get in touch, but just need you to spread that word online on air.
yeah the
Shall I give you your
yeah
leaflet?
yeah definitely, please give me the leaflet. So you've got the email address, which is www.epharmaonline.uk. Now ePharma is EPHAR
Yeah.
MA online, which is ONLINE.uk. And the phone number for the pharmacy is 01902 640 512. And there's always somebody there. Now, just to bear in mind, there's somebody there all the time from 9 to 6 with a 1 hour lunch break, 12 to 1, which we have to do. And that's 5 days a week,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday.
So, your online service, I take it is, hold on, let's just get the leaflet back. Right, so your online platform, obviously, it must be secure. It is encrypted to protect sensitive information, I take it.
Yeah.
And does your team sort of undergo regular training as well, do they, to uphold the confidentiality, GDPR and things like that?
Everybody that works in a pharmacy, they have to read the SOPs and they have to sign the SOPs.
Got ya.
So that's part of the training. Also, you've got dispensers, and dispensers have to go on accredited dispensing courses, which are accredited by the NHS, and they're fully aware of patient confidentiality as well.
Okay, that's reassuring to hear. Now, I believe we've got some listeners' questions come in. I've got one that reads, I have multiple prescriptions to manage and it's quite challenging to keep track of them. Does ePharma offer any services to help with medication organisation?
Well, that's a very broad question, isn't it? Because what are they trying to say? Are they trying to say they want the medicine in a dossier box where it's labelled, for 7 days, and how much medication they want, or do they need some guidance from the
Yeah.
pharmacist on when or and how to take the medicines? It's a very difficult question to answer.
It is a difficult question, but let me put a little scenario to you. You've got an elderly lady who lives by herself. Now, obviously, with age comes many health conditions. So she might be diabetic, she might have arthritis, she might be on multiple prescriptions, medication, shall I say.
Polypharmacy, they call it, yeah.
Oh, okay. So obviously, so how would you cater for this particular pensioner?
Okay, so that's a great question, a very good question. So, first of all, somebody who's elderly, we got brackets, haven't we, for elderly. If somebody's elderly and they're say 70 and and above, they'll probably have some kind of care system in place because we're very fortunate here
Yeah.
in the UK. If they've got care system in place, normally what happens is that type of patient would probably have some kind of a dossier type of box where they've got do you know what a dossier box is? It's a
Is it the daily,
the daily
weekly ones?
container.
Yeah.
I think almost every household would have experienced seeing one of those.
Okay.
So what will happen in that situation is if they can't, I mean, in most cases, what will happen is a carer will come in and they're medically trained to deliver medicines, and they'll pop the box for that day and they'll present the medication for the patient.
Right. Okay.
So were you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware of certain aspects of it because I've actually had dealings with your daughter to organise something for a pensioner that I knew, and I've got to say the service was A1. But yeah, for people who don't know about your services, this is what we've got to try and emphasise and try and see what sort of help can go out there for them.
Yeah, and also, I mentioned to you earlier on that she's a prescriber as well, and I think we kind of go away from that because Gubra's probably one of the few prescribing pharmacists that works in a pharmacy, because most pharmacists will probably not have that title of being a prescribing pharmacist. They'll just a community pharmacist, but she's actually gone away and done training for a couple of years to become an independent prescriber as well. So she can advise patients on certain aspects of their medicines as well.
Brilliant. I've got another question come in. It says, I'm interested in switching to e-pharma for my prescription needs, but I'm concerned about the process of transferring my prescriptions. How does e-pharma handle prescription transfers?
It's very straightforward. If that person contacts ePharma on the phone number 01902 640 512
Yep.
and talk to the superintendent pharmacist, which is Gubra, and they have a discussion about how they want to go about doing it. And in most cases, she'll need an NHS number and some kind of idea of what they're on, and then basically it's quite a straightforward, simple transfer.
So say, for example, someone is housebound and they can't get out to go to the doctors, get the repeat prescription. How would you help that particular individual?
Just ask them to call in and
call yourselves.
Yeah, call ePharma, but also they need to speak to their doctors as well, and make them aware of what their intentions are, that they want to move over to ePharma, and then they can call ePharma, and then whatever we can do to help and support them with the transfer, we will, because what happens is we're creatures of habit, aren't we? So what happens is, even though a lot of people out there in the community know that ePharma is actually the way forward, because it is. Yes. Online pharmacy is the way forward now.
Everything is online now,
everything's
isn't it?
online, right? Everything. Everybody out there knows that ePharma and online pharmacy is the way forward, right? But because we're creatures of habit, we're frightened of change, aren't we? Right? Just for the people out there, just ring the number, right? 01902 640 512.
Yeah.
And seriously, guys, it's such an easy transfer. You wouldn't even realise how easy it is.
So typically speaking then, so how long does it take ePharma to deliver the medication, and are there any additional fees for the delivery or anything like that at all?
No, it's free delivery.
Free delivery.
And basically, what happens is if people are on repeat medication, the GP surgery it goes directly online onto the e-pharma computer, which is also something that's linked to the NHS, and then the prescription downloads and they dispense medicine, and the driver goes and delivers it to the house. It's as simple as that. It's not even rocket science. That's how simple it is.
Brilliant. I've got another question coming. It says, loving the topic on this evening, and they go, I'm on a tight budget and wondering if ePharma offers any discounts or savings programs for prescription medications.
Do you know what? I'm going to be frank with you. I don't know if I can answer that, but what I can do is I can get back to you on that. That's a good question, but I can't answer that at the moment because I don't know.
Right. Okay. No problem. Again, I think for some people, especially with the cost of living crisis and things like that, obviously cost and fees does come into it. But obviously yours is, like you said, it's a total free service anyway, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. So let's say, for example, somebody's concerned about costs and they're getting free medication anyway. Because they might not be in work, or for some ever reason they can't go to work because of ill health or whatever, and they're worried. It's expensive, isn't it? At the moment,
is, yeah.
Putting fuel in the car, putting the gas and electricity, it's expensive. We will alleviate one of the issues, which is you having to get into your car and drive to your pharmacy. Right? We're going to brunt the cost for that. We're going to deliver free of charge.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one worry that you don't have to worry about.
Exactly, yeah. I've got another question that's coming as well, and it reads, I've heard about the importance of medication adherence in managing chronic conditions.
Yeah.
Does ePharma offer any tools or reminders to help patients stay on track with their medication schedules?
Yeah, it's the dossier boxes. So that's one of the sort of things that we can offer.
Yeah.
Also, if they had other concerns, because every person has got their own individual concerns, they can just ring the pharmacist and have a chat with them and see what how we can help them. If we can help, then we'll bend over backwards.
So, say for example, there's a elderly person living with dementia. How would you help them schedule their medication? I mean, yeah, you've got the dossier boxes, but it's never guaranteed that that person will remember what day or time they've taken their medication.
Okay. Dementia patients, my father had dementia, as you're probably aware.
Yes.
God bless his soul, yeah. They need carers. You can't have a dementia patient, especially when the dementia is being diagnosed and they're struggling. They need somebody there caring for them. And when it comes to medication, they'd have to have, a trained professional in the form of a carer or family members who've been trained to care actually, adhere to medication. So we were fortunate that I've got two sisters who are nurses, as you know, Naz and Sonia, and they would, be there for Dad, every day, making sure that he got his medication on time. Yeah. So I just want to clarify that dementia is a disease that does need care as well.
Definitely. Do you do anything like text messages or email reminders as to remind people when to take the medication? Is that something you do, or is it something that you might consider in the long run?
At the moment, we're not doing that. It's typical everyday stuff. I think the dossier boxes and those type of those kind of opportunities for the patients are the only way that they can remember. But you know what? You don't know with technology, do you?
You don't.
With the way things are, if they can put a chip into your arm that can monitor glucose levels, they might put a chip in your arm in the future that's going to tell your brain, come on, it's time to take your medication. Do you know what I mean? Good Rob, you want to send in a WhatsApp.
Typical answer from Zahid.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, talking about convenient tools as well to support medication for certain people. I believe, looking at your poster, that you have got a mobile app as well.
Yeah, there is a mobile app as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody's interested in downloading that app, what would they need to do?
Well, the thing is, if they go onto the email, the website www.efarmonline.uk, they can get all the information there. There's one of these. What do you call that again? that
QR code.
Yeah, the QR. There's a QR code. They just scan their phone over it, and then the mobile app just downloads onto their phone.
Great. Now, before we wrap up, Zahid, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about eFarmer?
No, just wanted to say, look, we've got quite a huge number of the community who are supporting us from Whit Marines and Penfields. And I'm really grateful to everybody for your support, and so is Kubra. We're grateful, and listen, even if you don't want to use eFarmer, for your medicines, but you've got some concerns or worries about medicines, just give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to help. That's not an issue at all.
Excellent. Now, as we conclude this segment, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our listeners for their engaging questions, first of all, and their active participation. Now, your inquiries have provided valuable insights into the services that are offered by eFarmer. And I hope that the responses provided by Zahid have been informative and helpful. Now, remember, at eFarmer, they are saying that your health and well-being are their top priorities, and they're always here to support you. So, in your healthcare journey, so whether it's medication, organisation, prescription transfers, delivery services, affordability, or medication adherence, eFarmer is committed to providing convenient and accessible healthcare solutions tailored to the individual's needs. So thank you again for your questions, and please stay tuned for more insightful discussions on FYI. Big thank you to Zahid as well for joining us today and providing a valuable insight into eFarmer's services. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. So be sure to join us next week for another insightful episode of FYI, where I will be chatting to Sunita Banga. She is an equality, diversity and inclusion lead midwife at New Cross Hospital, and she'll be talking about making differences in the maternal health care right here in Wolverhampton. Until then, stay informed and empowered. Assalamu alaikum.